what is it called?
Some type of a bomb, like a weapon.
Yeah, that's it.
Something that sounds really severe.
Ominous.
Mm-hmm. Perfect word for that.
It's called a whim bomb.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I've ever heard that term before.
Yeah, I haven't heard that either, but it is windy.
Okay, well, we are here tonight to discuss, we've kind of narrowed, we're discussing the signal box routes. That's our agenda for tonight. We get to do 4 more, and we have narrowed down the locations. So I went ahead and I called the print shop Northwest, and they go out and they measure them, and then they can tell the artist, what size to fit. And I thought we could go through the art that was previously submitted to see if we can use that or if we need to start fresh.
Sure.
From what I understood. Okay.
No, Sally, we're doing 2 boxes right now, right? Because we've already decided on Mount Rainier is going to be on a 4th box, and then the 3rd box. I mean, I thought we were going to do the Jennifer at Fort Silicon, correct?
Right, but
Okay.
Not everyone was in on that, so we'll go over that. Mount Rainier, we had discussed having that, but we didn't know how it looked. So I had the print shop last round do a mock-up, and it looks amazing, like so much better than I thought it would. Yeah. So I guess she's been talking to Earl a lot and really wanted to be on the box by Chick-fil-A on 100th and Bridgeport. And so I think if we all agree, we can do that.
Yeah.
And then Jennifer Churchoff got back to me. She's friends with the person that did the steel across that we used. And she resubmitted hers, which is called let me just go there. There we go. Lakewood Curiosity Cabinet. And it has quite a history. Sorry. Anyways, it has all these little pieces that have to do with Lakewood history. And she explained it more in the email, and it really brought it to life for me in a way that I hadn't seen it before. And we were thinking, because it has a lot of smaller pictures, that maybe it could go on the one at Far West and Stillicum, because a lot of people ride their bike by there and they walk by there. And so I just wanted to show you a picture. Let me just see if I can find it really.
And I think it's a good tie into the farmers market and the history of the park, like you had said. I mean, I like that.
Oh, here it is. Okay, so can I share my screen? Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is it. And then she says, and there's a close-up. Oh, that's cool. So it says, taking into account the call's suggested themes, I designed a 3-dimensional cabinet with motifs central to Lakewood's unique cultural and military history, diversity, and indigenous plants, the Gary oak, big leaf maple, Douglas fir, and yellow water lily. The facing portraits of Chief Lashai and Fort Stillicum's commander, Lieutenant Colonel Silas Casey, imply unity. Casey fought to pardon Lashai and protect him from an unjust death. Because of this, Casey was hung in effigy by angry settlers. and so on. So it's pretty, pretty well thought out.
Mm-hmm.
And there you can see the photos. So how do you, Daryl and Lonnie, how do you feel about using that and putting it on the Far West and Silicon box?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Sarah?
You definitely have some
Really
pedestrian.
gives some context, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's bright and it's colorful and it's intriguing, and it says a lot with one canvas, and it really reflects the history of that area.
Yeah, I think when I first looked at it, it just looked like it was too many small pieces, and I didn't get the full gist of it. So
Yeah, and I think I had mentioned that to you as well, but then you kind of countered with the fact that, and it's going to be in a really open location where there's a lot of pedestrians and a lot of bicyclists, and yeah, and it just kind of speaks to the location itself.
So Sally, do you get a feel that it's also more or less a reconciliation piece, a reflective piece, in addition to just being an art piece?
yeah, good. Thank you for bringing that up, because we were talking about having a website now that we're getting more public art that talks about each piece. So people can go to the website and see on a map where it is, who made the art, and have it tell about it, just like what I just read.
And I think from an artistic standpoint, it's good to have a piece with some substance like that's a little deeper and, has a little bit more bite to it. For those who want that. I mean, for those who want it for just the aesthetic reasons, it's there also.
And then
maybe go ahead.
Oh, one thing before I forget is, can we reach out to the city planning department? I think his name is Paul, to see if he could update the utility box map to reflect all of the roundabouts that are going to be installed.
He did tell me in an email. So it's like Washington Boulevard, but yes, I could do that.
Okay. So it was only those two ones, like Washington and Vernon, and then Washington and something before Vernon. I can't remember, but I just wanted to make sure there weren't any other surprise roundabouts going in somewhere in the city of Lakewood for next year, because we're going to be doing 6 more boxes or so next year. And yeah, and 2 out of the 10 that I proposed are going to have roundabouts.
Okay. And then I was thinking, at Far West and Angelica, maybe the more intricate one faces the path versus facing the road, and maybe the big oak leaves face the road because you're driving so fast. And then if you're going down the path, you'd be able to stop and look at the little boxes. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, is there have you, in speaking with like cities like Tacoma, I don't think but is there like a CAD technology that we can use to easily just take the dimensions of a box and put the wraps, like a digital version of the wrap on there, just so we can kind of get a good scope of how we want the wrap to look, where we want the designs to be, and on which side? I mean, I don't know of any of the other cities using it, because I'm kind of surprised that there wouldn't be something like that, because there's technology is so crazy advanced nowadays.
Yeah, that's true. But the print shop will do that for us.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking of a mock-up before it was installed, so we could kind of, decide what it's going to look like.
Yeah. Well, yeah, all I can say is right now what they do is they send me like the proof. Which
Okay.
to you, and then we say what we want changed on it.
Gotcha.
Right now, they've all looked great. And I don't know if you've seen Rosa Cruz's Colorful Rocks with the second box wrapped, but it looks so good
No,
With-
I haven't seen it yet.
together on 108th and Bridgeport as we're driving by. It really pops. It looks beautiful.
Nice. I got to check that out.
So we have 2 more boxes. And so I thought I'd show you my PowerPoint. I'll just share my screen, Nikki. And here we go. And this is just from the finalists. So obviously we chose Rosa Cruz. We chose Kelly Loney. We are choosing Matt Rainier. That's so cool. And then Susan Russell Hall. So she submitted several. I personally, her paintings are amazing. I think I was thinking this one on the left might work well because it's a little more abstract.
I like all of them, but I don't know how they're going to wrap on a box because they're so vertical.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would almost have to have the same image on both sides of the box.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to know. We use
Like one thing I like about Rosa Cruz is she's been able to give us a template of what it's going to look like even on the top.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So hers turned out wonderful. I love this one. I don't think other people voted on this, but I just think it's gorgeous.
I think it's a nice one.
And that's good to go. We use that. And this is an example of one that's vertical, but wrapped beautifully.
Yeah, I agree with you. So did we use that same image all the way around, or were there mirror images on both sides of it? Like, I don't know. I haven't been to this. I've seen this one, but I haven't seen what it looks like on the very other side.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think you could do the same image on the back though, because
Yeah, why not?
I mean, well, because really you're seeing either one side from the street if you're driving, and maybe you're seeing the other side if you're a pedestrian. I don't know if it would.
And they work with the artist as they manipulate it. They're corresponding with the artist directly.
Yeah.
Any necessary changes. We didn't choose this. This was of interest. Is that it?
I thought there were way more.
So this must have been just the finalists. So let me go out of that one and we'll go back to
Well, I feel like, didn't we have a voting sheet? Didn't we all? Wasn't there some kind of matrix that we all voted?
yeah,
That kind
and I've got that, but oh, okay, here we go. Okay, let me share the screen again. And I do have that. So this was not in contention. This was not in contention. And tell me if you want me to go slower. This was not. This was not. We know Rosa Cruz's. This is another one of Katie Bean's.
That's a pretty one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I think that'll look really good. These were all not in contention. This was a runner-up. Like, yeah, we'd consider doing this. That's a similar one. That was not in contention, not in contention, not in contention. Not in contention. Not considered. Was a runner-up. Oh, do you want me to go back to? This was for consideration. That was not in contention. Who's that? Not in contention. We felt that was too graphic-y. Yeah, none of these were. Now this, see, I thought these were beautiful. This, I didn't know if anyone wanted to reconsider, especially this green heron. It's just gorgeous.
I like the herons. And correct me if I'm wrong, the two locations that we're currently putting forth is the one at Gravelly Lake Drive in Wild Air, and then the one on Stillicum in Ardmore, correct?
Correct.
I think I think the heron would be a beautiful one for Stillicum and Ardmore because it's got that the city's really put in that very garden kind of like little atmosphere on that little island, and it's got some nice, like a nice tree and some nice plantings, and the sidewalks are new. And then as opposed to like the Gravelly Lake Drive and Wild Air one, like that other Rosa Cruz one with the brilliant pink flowers, I think that would be a real cool pop of color right there because it's just kind of there by itself in the middle of a grassy patch. That's just kind of, but I like the heron one. I think that would kind of go beautifully if the Stillicum Ardmore one.
Which one if we did, do you like any one more than the other? That blue is pretty too.
Well, can we do both, one on each side? Or no?
We'd pick one. I believe.
I kind of like the green.
I do too. I have the green over the blue.
Do you want me to ask if we would use both or not?
You can if you want to. If they say no, if it would cost us extra, then we can just go with the one that we like the best.
Okay. And then let's just keep. Oh, and Daryl, you didn't say anything. Do you have thought? You're on mute. You're on mute.
Sorry, I just said that I've liked what I've seen so far, so I'm in agreement.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then we're using this one. These were not for consideration. Here we're at the curiosity box. So circling back on that, that was not for consideration. This is just a photograph. Cool, but we didn't consider that. Then we went into all of Susan Russell Hall's. And then Robert Sanchez's. And then we went into Tony Snyder's, and then Brandy Torres. And then
So Sally, if I may ask,
all these three.
If I may ask, if we kind of are torn between a couple of different, like how much would Print North, like if we wanted to select between, but if it came down to two different artists and we both like both of their art, but like the Susan Russell Hall, I really like her art, but I can't imagine how it's going to look on a utility box. Would Print Northwest be able to do a mock-up for us for a low cost so we can kind of have more of a visual idea of what that painting is going to look like on a utility box?
Yeah. Yes, we can. So what I'm going to do is go through, we're almost at the end, and then I'll go back to hers and we'll ask which ones we want mocked up. These were not consideration. Okay, so that wraps that up. So back up to Susan. I pass that? Okay, here we go. Okay, so we had the two flowers.
I mean, the fall tree is gorgeous. So is that Lakewood maple.
Yeah, they really pop.
And if it would be the perfect time of the season to install one, but what is the public going to think come summer? You know what I mean? Are we going to face criticism? You know, that we put something autumn in autumn and now it's summer and it's still. Yeah.
Well, it's got a lot of other color going on in there.
I think they're gorgeous. I really do.
And the caveat to that is she said we could use any of her art. She has a beautiful red rose. So, you know, you could go to Susan Russell Hall's website and poke around if you wanted to. It was very generous of her to offer her art, given the price point she can sell art for. So there we are. So what I heard is we're going to do Mount Rainier, the Curiosity Box, the Green Heron. I will ask if we can do the green and blue, and the pink flowers from Rosa Cruz. And then we could ask for a mock-up of Susan's, and we could save that for the next round, and just go with these others, or we can wait and see how it looks. What would you prefer?
I think that's good with me. If that's good with everybody else, I kind of like those choices.
Yeah, I don't mind those choices. I mean, I guess the one question I have is we went through the process of having the prioritizing which ones we wanted. And I feel like maybe we're jumping around a little bit now, which is not necessarily a problem. And I don't know if but I don't have that list in front of me. So I don't know if
I can check it. It's the same things I said, which ones were not considered and which ones were backups.
Right.
But so let me find that for you. Oh, let me stop sharing.
I mean, I think we have a lot of great choices here. It just is a question of if we've already prioritized some, do we go down the list because we already prioritized? But if we have, if we have duplicate art, I know there's a few of them that like we loved, 3 or 4 pieces all by the same artist. And if we want to share the wealth, then we can say, okay, well, we're going to jump down to the next artist who hasn't been represented yet, so that we get a diversity of artists.
That's a good thought.
Well, and I think some things have changed now that we've actually seen them on the boxes and how they come out.
Okay.
So you can see that this is the scoring. This is the green are the ones we have put on the boxes. Although we actually accepted Susan's, but we never used it. I don't know why that was.
Okay, well, so that's maybe one of our answers there, is that she's in the lineup.
That's a good point.
Rosa Cruz is up there, but not her particular one that we're looking at. But I think what's we're liking is the that it's print ready for the box, and that's cool.
Right. But this would be a second box for her.
Correct.
Third, I think we did a
third.
Did
It'd
we
be
do
your
the
third.
tribal quilt?
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
So Katie Dean, you can see I just highlighted the curiosity box because of our last conversation, but that was not in there before. And then the blues were for consideration, as you can see here. So.
Well, maybe we do go with the Susan Russell Hall since we already have 2 of the Rosa Cruz already.
Okay. I'll let you go.
Yeah, and I think we still keep Rosa Cruz on the list because her stuff is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
But like Lonnie had said, it would be, it's a good idea to keep everything diverse too. So we don't want to have too much of one artist.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and when we get to cover the millions of boxes.
Millions. Okay, well, that'll be so fun. In fact,
Yeah.
that's really good. Susan Russell Halls would look really good at that location. Good. Okay.
Yeah, I can stand behind all that. So
Okay, so we're gonna do Susan Russell Hall, the Heron, and then the collection box, and if I said that right, and then
Curiosity.
what was the fourth? Oh,
Mount Rainier.
Christine, Mount Rainier. Yeah, that's right, Mount Rainier. She'll be very happy about that.
So what I will do is I will reach out to each of them and let them know that the print shop will be following up with them with all the dimensions of the artwork, and they'll do the mock-ups and we'll be good to go. I already scheduled the measuring a couple weeks ago, so that may already be done. But they go out and hand measure all the boxes. The print shop does. I mean, they're so dialed into doing these boxes. And I have to say, they were so impressed with our boxes. They asked if they could put them up on their website and
Oh, wow.
everything because they thought they turned out really, really well. And on
Well,
their
that's really cool. That's good to hear.
yeah.
Yeah, it was good to hear because they do all the Tacomas. They do a lot of these. And they really loved them.
If I could throw one thing in before we adjourn, because my resident uncle keeps on reminding me to bring this up. But he keeps on pestering me about wanting to bring up the doing something with the guardrails that go over Clover Creek, right by John Corsmo's old business. Kind of like when you're driving down Gravelly Lake Drive. And I told him, I'm like, look, Ron, I think I mentioned that before, but since you're my uncle, I'll mention it again. But I kind of wanted to throw it out there to see if there would be any possibility of maybe wrapping those guardrails, and applying this same kind of technology that we're doing on the on the signal boxes to that guardrail as well. I just wanted to throw it out there and see what everybody's thoughts were.
My feedback would be, let's do the research. Print Shop Northwest is who I'm working with. You could, this team could do research if they were interested and find out, is it even doable? If so, what's the cost? What's, all the things we've been finding out for the signal boxes.
Okay. Would I be able to reach out to Print Northwest on the subcommittee's behalf to get that ball rolling, or do you want to do that, Sally?
I prefer not to, just because my plate's full.
Okay.
And if you want to do that research, or even Google it and see if there is anyone doing it anywhere in the country,
Sure, I can do that,
Because-
and then I could bring it up to them and see what what the cost would be, and they may not even be able to do it because of the how it curves.
Yeah, it would have to be really specifically made for that, but it could be. And on that note, I've been working with a guy named Tony from Tacoma Arts Live. He's so knowledgeable of art and artists. And there's a local artist who does some boxes in Tacoma. They're more around cultural diversity, and they're so cool. And I would love to commission him to do something maybe around the Buffalo soldiers or something, because they were, formed here and it's historical. Or he did really cool Hispanic, faces. And I mean, it's really neat, very different than nature. But I would like to seriously think about identifying some artists and commissioning art versus throwing out and casting a net and seeing what we get for the next round. So that would be another piece of research you could do, is just looking around on artist website, local artist website, and
Like the ones that are in Tacoma and everything like that. And
Tacoma, Lakewood. I think it would be nice to be local.
Yeah.
Hey, Sally, in terms of the Buffalo Soldiers, you may want to reach out to Jackie. What's her name? Let me see, pull her up in my address book here.
Wow,
Jackie
Daryl,
Jones.
you got so
Jackie
many people
Jones.
there with you.
I know. Jackie Jones Hook at soldiersmuseum@aol.com. She may be able to have some resources for you in that regard. Or she may have an inroad in artists that are doing that.
Jackie Jones.
Jackie Jones Hook. Yeah, she runs the museum. It was her dad's museum. She's taken it over. The Buffalo Soldiers Museum. It's just off, where is it located? It's just off 19th and, oh gosh. It's downtown.
Jackie Jones Hook.
Yeah, Jackie Jones Hook. And you can call her also, but I have her email, soldiersmuseum@aol.com. Because she's a historian, and she would probably know some artists who specialize in that and might be wanting to partner with us. And she's done things with the city before. Phil knows her. Phil's pretty familiar with her work and in the community and that sort of thing. Phil has done.
Well, I think what I would.
Phil's done some
thank you.
amazing interviews and for the historical Phil and all the things he does. So he knows her pretty well. So he might be able to be your liaison there. I just a thought when you brought up Buffalo Soldiers, she already has a tie-in because that was her father's passion when he started the museum.
But what I guess
Just
what
a thought
is for 2022, you can hit the ground running. This committee can hit the ground running with signal boxes. And so I would recommend thinking about how you want to go about that. Do you want to think of themes? Do you want to, and then stick with those themes? I noticed like in Federal Way, it's definitely like a storybook theme. Or diversity, or and do you want to commission the artists or have a RFP? So you can think a little bit about how you want to go about it. Do you have any thoughts now of what we've learned from this? And we could even commission our favorite artists here and say, hey, we liked your art, but we're looking for this type of thing. Or, if you find artists that specialize in the theme that you're looking for. For example, if you went with bees, honeybees, like there's an amazing artist, Britt Frieda, on Vashon Island, and she does the most amazing chickens and bees, and they're kind of geometric, and it's just stunning. But it's maybe the three of you can think about that.
Are we proposing a theme, like an annual theme?
Well, I'm asking if you want to do that. If you want to, for your next round, do you want to just open it up, whoever submits whatever, or do you want to say, hey, we're really looking for something that depicts the cultural diversity in Lakewood, or the history of Lakewood, or endangered species, or, whatever it is. I'm just asking you if you want to think about that and give the artist direction, or just take whatever they come up with. Because you can see it really ran the gamut.
I mean, I kind of like the surprise of some of the creative things that they've put forth, and I don't know if a theme would be boxing anybody in or not. I mean, so yeah, I don't know if I'm really sold on the theme, but I'll go with whatever, what the consensus is, but I like the surprise of not knowing what they're going to put forth.
Well, and I think the first round that we had, I mean, I don't remember how we did the voting, but I think we had to just all hone in on our top 5 or 6 or something. And that's how that priority list came. But I do think there were some other great pieces in there, and they weren't just necessarily in the first 5 or 6, but they maybe would have made it in the top 10. So I don't know. I'm just throwing that out to Daryl and Earl too, if we want to relook at what has already been submitted, because I feel like we chose our top 5 out of everything, and that's how that came down. But like, if I had my choice to choose my top 10, I would have 5 others that would be in there.
And I can try to zip and share that PowerPoint. I just thought it was too big when I tried to send it. But the one I flipped through, that's everything.
Yeah. Okay.
And then just again, if you want, you can just commission an artist, or you can do both.
Yeah.
You have 4 that are requests for proposals, and then 4 that you commission an artist and say, come up with a couple designs for us. We love your work. Just letting you know, there's different ways to go about it.
Options. Yeah, that's great.
So great. I think that this accomplishes what we've set out to do in this meeting, and I'm going to get to work on it right away, and I'll send the proofs to you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Right.
I'm excited. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks,
Yeah.
everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Don't
Right.
blow away.
I know. Oh my God. Bye.
Bye.